Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I told you that something huge is brewing in Washington right now, something that could mean thousands of dollars landing directly in your bank account. Yes, we're talking about two powerful proposals making serious noise. One offering $2,500 and another proposing up to $5,000 in direct stimulus payments to millions of Americans. And no, this isn't speculation. These plans are being discussed in high-level government talks, with real bills in motion and real numbers on the table. In today's video, we're diving deep into what could become one of the most significant financial relief packages since the pandemic began. Who's eligible? How much could you get? Why now? And what's driving this sudden push for cash payments again in 2025? We'll walk through everything, from behind-the-scenes discussions in Congress to the potential timeline for when you could see this money in your hands. This isn't just an update, it could truly change everything. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's unpack what could be the financial game changer Americans have been waiting for. To really understand what's happening here, we have to take a good, hard look at the economic reality facing millions of American households today. Despite official narratives claiming that inflation is cooling and the economy is recovering, the truth is that for everyday people, things are still extremely difficult. Food prices are stubbornly high, rent is through the roof, medical costs are draining savings accounts, and credit card debt is skyrocketing. Families are stretching their budgets thinner and thinner just to survive. For seniors, people with disabilities, and low-income workers, the squeeze has become unbearable. Even though wages have inched up slightly, they've been completely outpaced by inflation over the past few years. For someone working two jobs or living on a fixed Social Security check, these economic shifts are more than statistics. They're real, painful struggles. It's against this backdrop that policymakers are revisiting the concept of direct payments. The goal isn't just to stimulate the economy, it's to offer genuine relief to Americans who have been doing everything right but still can't seem to get ahead. And now, with political momentum building, stimulus checks are back on the table in a big way. So, let's talk numbers. What exactly are these two proposals aiming to do? The first is a straightforward idea. Send out a $2,500 stimulus check to qualifying Americans. This payment would work similarly to previous rounds of stimulus during the COVID-19 pandemic, but with improvements. Lawmakers are considering broader eligibility criteria to ensure that people who were left out before, like low-income seniors, non-tax filers, and those with little to no income, are included this time around. The second proposal is even bigger and bolder: a $5,000 direct payment. This plan is more targeted, focusing on those most affected by ongoing economic hardship. That includes families with children, retirees receiving Social Security, and individuals on disability benefits. Advocates of this plan argue that larger payments are necessary to truly help people get back on their feet, not just cover a few bills. They see this as a chance to rebalance an economy that's left too many behind. These aren't vague ideas. They're well-defined policy proposals currently being shaped behind closed doors on Capitol Hill. Timing is everything in politics, and right now, all the pieces seem to be lining up. Following the 2024 elections, there was a noticeable shift in the political landscape. Candidates who ran on promises of financial relief, economic fairness, and increased support for working families performed exceptionally well. That election result sent a message loud and clear: Americans want action, not just talk. And politicians are responding. In addition, the pressure on lawmakers is intensifying. Constituents are flooding congressional offices with calls and emails demanding support. Petitions calling for direct payments have gathered millions of signatures. Advocacy groups are holding rallies, and media outlets are finally highlighting the ongoing struggles that never really went away after the pandemic. The political will to act is growing, especially as economic data continues to reveal that the so-called recovery has been uneven and exclusionary. With Congress now drafting several major budget and tax packages for 2025, these stimulus check proposals have found their way into the discussion. And because they are being attached to larger, must-pass legislation, their chances of becoming reality are higher than they've been in years. Let's get specific. Under the $2,500 proposal, eligibility would be structured to reach low and middle income Americans. Based on what's being discussed, individuals earning under $75,000 annually would qualify for the full amount. For married couples filing jointly, the income cap would be $150,000. Heads of household would be eligible up to about $112,500. While the $2,500 plan would be a major boost for millions, the $5,000 stimulus proposal is where we start to see transformative potential. This initiative, sometimes called the Family Relief Rebate, is being tailored to provide significant support to those who have been hardest hit by inflation and cost of living spikes. We're talking about families raising children on modest incomes, seniors whose monthly Social Security checks can't cover their rent and medication, and disabled Americans who have seen their benefits fail to stretch as far as they used to. These are the people who often skip meals, delay doctor visits, or rack up debt just to pay the utility bill. For them, a $5,000 payment isn't a luxury, it's a survival tool. Supporters of this proposal believe that targeted, generous aid like this could help prevent homelessness, reduce hunger, and even boost mental health by relieving the constant pressure of financial instability. It's not just about cash, it's about dignity. Now you might be wondering, who in Washington is actually supporting this? The answer is more lawmakers than you might think. Several key Democrats have voiced strong support for both plans, framing them as essential components of an equitable recovery. Some progressives have gone even further, calling for recurring payments or a universal basic income. But support isn't just coming from the left. A handful of Republican lawmakers, especially those in economically struggling districts, are beginning to express interest in targeted relief. The idea of helping constituents pay their bills and spend more in local economies is starting to cut across party lines. It's a rare moment of potential bipartisanship. One bill, titled the Emergency Relief for American Families Act, is already making waves on the Hill. It includes language for both $2,500 and $5,000 payments, and several lawmakers are fighting to include it in the next budget package. Negotiations are active, and insiders suggest the chances of at least one of these payments being approved are real. Let's address the elephant in the room. How would we pay for this? It's a fair question, and lawmakers have a few answers. One option on the table is repurposing leftover funds from earlier pandemic relief programs. Billions in unspent COVID-era money still remain in state and federal coffers, and advocates argue that it should be redirected toward immediate household relief. Other funding strategies include increasing taxes on corporate stock buybacks, closing tax loopholes exploited by large multinational companies, and implementing a temporary wealth surcharge on individuals earning over $10 million annually. These ideas are gaining traction among voters who feel that the ultra-wealthy should contribute more to the country's economic recovery. Lawmakers are also exploring whether the Federal Reserve or Treasury Department can offer short-term assistance through bond mechanisms or emergency lending tools, similar to what was done in past crises. The bottom line is this: where there's political will, there's usually a financial way. The timeline is critical. If Congress acts quickly, we could see legislation passed by mid to late summer. Given how the legislative calendar is structured, the months of June through August will be key. Lawmakers are preparing major budget bills during this period, and stimulus payments could be written into the fine print. If that happens, direct payments could start rolling out as early as September or October. And that timing is no accident. It would coincide with the start of the fall season and give families much-needed financial breathing room ahead of the holidays. That would be a powerful moment, one that could lift millions out of anxiety and hardship. Let's take a moment to emphasize just how impactful these proposals would be for seniors and people living with disabilities. These groups often rely on fixed incomes like Social Security, SSI, or SSDI. But those benefits haven't kept up with the actual cost of living. Rent, utilities, groceries, and medical expenses have all surged, leaving many older adults choosing between food and prescriptions every single month. The $5,000 payment, in particular, could be a game changer for them. It could cover months of medications, overdue utility bills, or home care expenses. And finally, it would acknowledge the years these individuals have contributed to society, providing not just relief, but respect. At the end of the day, these proposals aren't just about numbers on a check, they're about fairness, security, and hope. They represent a rare opportunity for our government to act boldly and directly on behalf of the people who keep this country running. Whether you're a working-class parent, a struggling retiree, or someone just trying to stay afloat, the $2,500 and $5,000 checks could offer real, meaningful relief. We're at a crossroads right now. Lawmakers are listening, and the decisions they make in the coming months could shape the financial well-being of millions. That's why it's so important to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay vocal. So, what do you think? Should Congress move forward with these stimulus payments? Do you think the $2,500 and $5,000 checks would make a difference in your life or the lives of your loved ones? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel for future updates, and hit the notification bell so you never miss breaking news that could impact your wallet. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and take care of each other.